friends, we're gonna tame our brows today. I'm going to wax them. I'm going to show you exactly how I do it at home, how I get impeccable results doing so. Before we do that though, hi, hello, my name's Mary. I'm a Midwesty mom in my 40s and I love to post all sorts of beauty and lifestyle content here on YouTube. If that's what you're into, you know the jam, you know the deal. Hit that subscribe button, hit that little bell next to it for notifications. That way you never miss an upload. And while you're at it, I would love it if you would hit the thumbs up button. So let's just get into it. These brows, you guys, I have been growing these out for 2 months, 2 whole months for you. So you could see just exactly like what a nice bushy natural brow looks like and how we're going to tame it. It was also kind of fun to just sort of see what my brow shape actually was. I've been waxing and plucking, tweezing my brows for a very long time. And so I was kind of like, I don't know, maybe I want a different shape. So it's just nice to see this is what we're working with. I'm going to show you all the products that you need, sort of the tips, the tricks, the techniques, all that kind of stuff to get great brows at home. First of all, I'm going to start out with like the best thing ever, which is this. Now, I don't know that they actually make this exact kit anymore. This thing is literally like 15 years old. It's from Anastasia Beverly Hills. It's their Beauty Express for brows and eyes. Basically, okay, what you can see is they give you all these directions down the side. They've got like some brow powder and highlight, and that, I'm sorry, this is more of like a highlight. This is your brow powders here. I can't talk today. And this used to have wax. These are what you really want. These are stencils. If they still make this kit, like I will search for it online for you. If they still make it, I'll link it below. But if they don't, you can still find the bits and pieces of it. But the stencils are what you really, really want. These are the things that you can literally, after you follow the directions in there, and I'll show you, I'm gonna do a demo at the end of this, but you literally like make marks, you know, following your nose straight up through your pupil to show exactly where your arch should be, and then through like the, I don't know what you'd call this, the end portion of your eye over here, kind of like a slanty line. And then you take this stencil and you line it up, you brow powder some stuff on there, and it basically just makes sure that you've got a really nice shape to your brows. It comes with, let me count them out here, 1, 2, 3, 5 of them. 5 different stencils, and everything from like a slim kind of like high arch to a little bit more of a petite arch. They've got a full brow, and then I typically would use the medium arch, but I don't know. I'm kind of loving the full look, but these seriously need to be cleaned up, so we might use the full arch. It just gives you a little bit more bushiness, I guess, in there. But, okay, so you've got like your Anastasia Beverly Hills, like the stencils. Oh, I cannot express to you enough. These stencils are flippin' amazing. Get yourself some, especially if you're a newbie at this. This kit does have really great directions in it, but you can find these directions online. I'm gonna demonstrate them to you. You can find them in other YouTube videos. You can find these other products online. However, I will say like this little brow highlight is like one of my favorite things ever. But again, a lot of this other stuff you can find everywhere else. But these stencils, you cannot, and they're amazing. So get yourself some. Wax. Now this is, you can tell I've used all this wax that was in here. This is by Sally Hansen. It is their hard wax. I've gotten it from like Walmart, Walgreens, Target, wherever. Amazing stuff. Love this product. My only gripe with it is that, so I just stick this stuff in the microwave, and like sometimes it gets too hot and you have to be careful. You will burn yourself. So that's really, honestly, that's more on me. Let's be real. It's not the product, it's more on me. But I upgraded. Yes, I did. I bought one of these things. Well, this is the box. It's one of those like warming wax kits. So it's an actual warmer. I've got it sitting here. Oh, look at it. I started to warm some of the wax beads up in it already. But I like this thing because you've got more of like that temperature control. I just think like, I think that's worth shelling out some dough for. And I think this thing was only like 20 bucks. So when I say dough, it's not a lot of dough. I will link this one that I got below, but quite frankly, you can find these anywhere. You can find them on Amazon. They all look very similar. I'm sure they're very much so the same. It came with the warmer. Some of these like, I don't know what you'd call these little wooden wax paddles. And then these wax beads, which are pretty awesome as well. I've got like 5 or 6 packages of these things. Other things that you can, this is more of a nice to have. These are the brow touch-up razors. A lot of people like to use the Tinkle ones. I couldn't get my hands on any of those. They were all sold out by me, so I just grabbed these. Same thing. It basically just sort of shapes some of that little peach fuzz off of your brow. But those are the things, like, I'm trying to think of, like, did I miss anything? I've got a little spoolie here. This is not by Anastasia Beverly Hills, but it is, you know, it's a little spoolie to kind of brush your brows up. Oh, wax. Wax is helpful. I am clearly all out of the wax that's in this kit, but I'm just going to use some of my husband's pomade. Really, you just need something that's going to hold your brows in place. So we're going to make do with what we've got from that perspective. And I'm going to demo to you exactly how to do your brows at home. Over time, like, I mean, I'm telling you, like, it's super cheap. It's super easy. You can do this. Give yourself some time, like, be patient with it. But, like, if I had to recommend any sort of, like, must-have products, these stencils are definitely it. And get yourself some good wax. If you like the hard wax, go for it. If you like more of, like, the plasticky stuff, that'll work too. But you really just need the stencils and some wax, a little bit of patience, and some good direction, which I'm going to give you right now. And then you'll be able to do your brows at home, and you're going to look amazing.
So first up, we are going to use the pomade. Again, this is just my husband's pomade that he uses for his hair every day. And I'm going to use my spoolie and brush my eyebrows into place. It's a little bit about brushing them into place and also just giving them something to grip and hold onto and hold their shape. It also will give the brow powder something to stick to a little bit more once we get to that step. And you'll see what I mean in just a minute here. Next up, we're going to grab that precision brush and we're going to draw these guidelines on our eyebrows, just how it's shown in this diagram here. This is pretty much the exact same thing that's shown in the little brow kit itself that I'm showing you here, but I kind of wanted to give you an up-close view. And so you just make those brow markings, and then you can see here, this is the stencil I'm using, which is the full arch, and you're going to line those 3 marks up on that stencil to those brow markings that you made. Then you use some brow powder and you essentially just fill it in. You're kind of just dabbing here, and that's where that pomade gives the brow powder some additional stuff to sort of stick to and grip there. And you'll see when I remove the stencil that it is filled in, and it gives you a good, simple guide so that you know where to place the wax. And here I just did the other side. And now we're going to get our wax ready. And you might have to experiment with what temperature works best for you. But if it's too cold, it's not actually going to adhere and remove the hair. And if it's too hot, it's going to burn you. And this consistency I'm showing is actually the perfect consistency for wax. Now, what I like to do is I don't like to use those bigger paddle sticks. I use Q-tips, and I'm kind of struggling here, but I try to sort of break them, like break the swab end off and just use like the Q-tip part, like the little stick part, I guess. And here you can see I'm applying the wax, of course, checking to see where that guide was that we had put on there earlier with the brow powder. And I've got some weird little stringies that are happening with this wax. This is my first time using it, and I'm still figuring it out a bit, but no big deal. We're going to make it work. And then now we're going to remove it. Just grab the end, make sure to hold the skin taut, and then give it a good tug. There you go. We are looking good. Now, sometimes you'll want to go back in with tweezers and just remove maybe any little hairs that you missed, or if you really just want to be super precise with it and you don't feel like getting in there with wax is the best way, then use your tweezers. And I always like to double check a couple times with the stencil, just to make sure that I'm in the right spot. And here, just kind of trying to breathe through, pulling that wax strip for the top part. And then if you have to, you can go back in and apply a little bit more if you missed an area. And here, these darn stringies, I will not be using this wax for my eyebrows again. I'm just showing it to you here once, but like I struggled the entire time with this weird stringy wax. But we made do. And it did work. It did remove the hair. It was just very stringy, which was a little bit hard to control. And here you can see the difference between my brow that is done versus not. And now both are done. I didn't show you the other one, but it's the exact same process. Next up, we're going in with those little teeny tiny razors, and we're just sort of shaving some of that peach fuzz off. We're getting in there and really just tightening up that line. I would highly recommend you go nice and slow and easy while you're doing this. You don't want to slip and accidentally shave off an eyebrow. That would not be good. But I really like using these. I have not been using them for a long time, but the few times that I have, I've been really impressed. I do feel like they give your brows a really nice finished look, and your brow also feels good. It has sort of like this exfoliating effect to it as well. So here I'm just going in and I'm doing the other brow the exact same way. Nice and easy and slow, and just removing any of those extra little peach fuzzies. And once you're done with that, give your brows a good once over. Go back in and remove any stray hairs if you need to with tweezers. But I am loving the look that I've got going on here. Now I'm going to come back in and just sort of shape them up again. Not necessarily shape them, but just make sure that they're in their place where they belong. So I'm using that spoolie with a little bit of that pomade on it, just brushing them up a little bit. And then I do have this weird little bald area, I guess, on one of my eyebrows. And so I do like to come back in with a little bit of brow powder and just fill it in. Nothing major, but just to, fill in the gap that's there. Now, this is also one of my favorite things to do. I use this highlighting stick and I put it right on my brow bone. It not only highlights the brow bone, but it also just provides an extra illusion of crispness to the brow itself. And there you have it. We're done. A total transformation.
All right, what do you think? Not too shabby, huh? I swear, I've been using those stencils and wax for years. I highly, highly recommend it. Maybe not that wax, maybe more that Sally Hansen wax, but I love it. I think it looks great. Let me know what you think and subscribe, thumbs up, you know the deal, all that jazz. And until next time, see ya.